cutting already. I'm Rusty, certified addiction recovery coach and certified abuse recovery coach. I help successful driven Christian men from crummy childhoods who are addicted to porn, electric sex, and other unwanted sexual behaviors achieve purity as the new sexy by helping them heal from the trauma and wounds that are driving them to act out. What are you doing? You're oh, you don't have yours memorized.
I'm Amy Noakes, and I'm a betrayal, trauma, and grief coach, helping women navigate through the grief and trauma of living a life from a betrayed spouse. I'm also a master's level LCD CI, counseling people who struggle with chemical dependency and alcoholism using family systems approach. And this is Purity is the New Sexy, episode
6.
I think so.
I think it's 6.
Okay.
And this is an impromptu one as well. This is just spur of the moment because of what happened tonight. And I didn't want to even do the video. I didn't see how it related to porn or acting out. But however, Amy Jo made a very good point, and it did. Do you want to go?
Yes. Okay. So as long as I can keep from laughing, maybe okay. So
you can't make it up.
You can't make it up. So 2 backstories first to make the connection to what happened tonight to porn. So Rusty had a couple of little incidences a while back. I don't know about how far back did that first one go?
A few months.
Okay, so one in a few months.
It was cold.
Okay, yeah. He had him a little side job going around and hanging flyers for AT&T, legit. But he found himself in an apartment complex with a guy that threatened to pull his gun on him. And an open door, and trapped Rusty with his dog and just with River, and just not going to do that to Rusty and River, so Rusty laid him out.
I defended myself. He threatened to pull a gun on me.
He
and
did,
the door was
I
open.
know.
He was moving towards his door, and I thought he was going for his gun. He probably was. He's a dement.
Right. Okay.
So I had to protect myself.
I know, it's really not funny. I was very
really
horrified and scared at the time, okay? And you'll understand why I'm laughing in a moment when I connect all this, okay? But yes, it was very scary when he sent me this huge message about what had happened to him, and I was just, what? And Rusty called the police. I mean, he was very legit. He really did defend himself and called the police and told him about this guy who threatened to, pull a gun on him and blocked him from escape. I mean, come on, that's cuckoo. All right.
But you didn't realize you didn't really know how nuts this guy was.
No.
I mean, you just had to take my word for it.
Exactly. I was not there. I was at work. So anyway, episode number 2 had to do most recently with just a gentleman that just kind of, Rusty was the Don Smith.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't even talk about what it was about.
Yeah, I'm not. And so it's okay.
We had a disagreement.
You had a disagreement.
A business disagreement.
And that's okay. But it got a little heated. And so that's it. End of story. We just parted ways, and that's okay. Peace to you, brother. And that's all it is, right? Okay. So let me go further back. Part of Rusty's addiction makeup included a lot of brawling.
Alcohol induced, usually.
Yes. Okay. So, but he's very much, which I adore. He's very much, his personality is, he's justice. Okay. He does not like injustice in the world, and he very much wants to stand up and protect others. And you may not know that he used to be a police officer back in the day and former military. So he's just got that fighting spirit, that protection instinct, and he just knows when something's going south. Anywhere in like a 5-mile radius, he knows when something's going down, and he is ready. Okay, so he's really who you want on your team, right? So yay me. Anyway, so just knowing that backstory, and I've watched many a time I've stepped in between him and someone else, and okay. So, and usually for the honor of a woman. Let's just say that. So anyway, 3 times I did that. It was because somebody was not being kind to a woman. So anyway, fast forward to tonight. It's date night, which we have scheduled every week. It's usually Friday night. that's the one night we don't have any prior engagements or work. So we're kind of tired. Rusty's been working really hard on his new website and all of this kind of stuff, marketing, and we are just not bent that way, right? So he's, where do you want to go? Of course, I'm the classic woman. I don't know. I don't care. Where do you want to go? You pick. Well, I like how he does, though, because he always picks amazing places that I never think of. And I'm just too tired from being a teacher during the day and among other things. I just don't want to think. So I have teacher brain. Anyway.
It gets funny in a minute.
It does. So he picks a place. We go out to eat. It's just right around the corner from where we live. Okay. So we have this beautiful dinner. It's nice. I'm going to drop a little plug. Fish City Grill. Really good. So we're sitting outside. We've got our dog. And he says, you know what? There's this book I've been wanting. Barnes & Noble's right over here, right? They're open. We're cool, right? I'm like, yeah. Oh, you want to walk? Yeah, let's walk. Okay, so we're just going to walk. Well, if you're familiar with San Antonio, you know where Fish City Grill is at Northwoods. And you have to cross this little street to get to the other little strip mall section that's got Barnes & Noble in it, okay? So we're just gonna meander across, and it's not, I mean, it's busy, but it's not cray-cray, okay? So we go to cross the street, and I'm, being the good citizen I am, I'm in the crosswalk, okay? So here's the sad backstory that you guys need to know, too. So I don't know how many years ago, my brother was 14. He was actually hit by a car, okay, in a crosswalk in a school zone, all right? And so it did not kill him, and he did eventually die 4 years later, but he was hit by a car, and it was a very traumatizing event for me, for my family, and just the whole thing, because I'm 13 years older than him, and it was just like, oh my goodness, like almost like your child, right? So very traumatizing. Anyway. So back to our night. Here we go, meandering across the road, and I'm paying attention.
For some reason, you're about 3 or 4 steps ahead of me, too. I don't even know why.
I'm not ahead of you. I'm next to you, but I'm in the crosswalk, but you decide to not do the crosswalk. So I'm sticking to the crosswalk because I'm in wedges, and I don't want to have to do all of this, whatever he's doing. So I'm sticking to the thing, right? I'm in the crosswalk, and he's kind of over from me, you know, to the side. And just kind of going at an angle. He's trying to take the quick route. Yeah. And I'm a rule follower, so I'm in the crosswalk. So there's no cars, you know, when we started, and it's one of those it's got a little median in the middle. Anyway, so I am almost to the other side, and I notice in my peripheral vision that there's a car coming. And it's a slow, short road. There's no reason for anybody to be going fast anyways, right? There's speed bumps. I mean, it's basically a street through a parking lot.
Yeah.
So I look over because I think I'm aware of my surroundings, just want to make sure they see me. I mean, I'm in bright blue. I mean, surely they notice me, but I'm going to look over and kind of move, you know, and make sure they see me, you know. And as soon as I look over, this jerk, and I'm going to call him a jerk because I don't know what else to call him, guns it. Like you're going to play chicken with somebody. Guns
and
it. He did.
He floored it.
He floored it like he was going to come at me and hit me. Yes. To which I'm like, I'm just, first of all, I can't even process and figure the situation out because my brain cannot even understand why anybody would want to do that. Well, then he turns left into the parking lot because they were going to go to Fish City Grill too. How wonderful for them. So, I don't know who it was. All right. But anyway, so I make it across the street. Weirdo turns into the parking lot. And we keep walking. But Rusty turns around. Of course, when he sees what's happening, he's like, oh no. So the guy rolls his window down. He's got a woman with him. Honey, if you're with a man like that, we need to talk. We need to talk because that's not okay. So anyway, so we're going, he turns around and he's like, what is your problem? You know, we're quite a bit of a distance away though. So it was a little bit odd to me that he would roll his window down. I thought perhaps he was going to say, sorry, man, I kind of hit the gas. I meant to hit the brake. Sorry. You know, because that's happened. Okay. I'm one of these. It's all good. Everybody's fine. Let's move on. Well, that's not what he did. He started egging Rusty on. Well, let's just say that is not smart. So you take it from here. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, throw me under the bus.
No, just go ahead.
Well, what happened was I was just standing there and like, with my arms like, what's the deal? And I don't know what he's saying. We're about 50 yards apart and he's mouthing. And this one here, she says, come on, let's go. And she's right because, that's the right thing to do. But it just, So we're walking towards Barnes & Noble. Now we're probably about 100 meters away. And I couldn't help but just take another look. So I look back. And there's probably a lesson in that. But I look back. Well, this crackhead is now out of his vehicle. Now he's like mouthing at me from across the parking lot. And
we didn't do anything wrong.
I'm doing all I can to just not walk back over there. To ask him.
And he did start to walk back over there.
Yeah, but I didn't.
But he didn't.
So anyway, my blood was boiling, and I'm glad I didn't go back over there.
So we made it to
go to Barnes & Noble, we do our shopping, we come back out, and we go back to the car. We're still parked at Fish City, so we walk, and I get the license plate of the car, and I call the Popo. And I tell him what happened, and I said I'd appreciate it if y'all would come have a conversation with this individual that we encountered. Here's what he did. I don't know if he's already drinking or what, and maybe not, but whatever the case, he gunned his car, floored it, came running at my wife like he was gonna run into her, then hits his brakes at the last minute, turns to the parking lot, and then told him how's, mouthing off or whatever. And so eventually the police came and take my little statement, and they do what they do. They went, got the license plate, ran it, then they're gonna wait on him to come out. They didn't want to barge into the restaurant and disturb everybody, so that's cool, and we left. Actually, no, we didn't leave because during all this time, here's where it gets funny. Here's where it gets crazy. So we're sitting there by the car while the police are doing their thing, and while they're running the license plate and seeing all this mess, I'm just standing outside the car. She's in the car, her window's down, and we're just hanging out. Guess who shows up? This dement from the apartment that threatened to pull his gun on me comes walking up to the car, and I recognize him right away. I'm
clueless.
And this guy walks up and says, "What's going on? What's happening over here?"
Everything okay?
And I'm like, "I'm in no mood to talk about this with you right now. There's nothing happening. I just want to know what's going on." I'm like, "Well, I don't want to tell you. I appreciate it if you just move along."
And I'm clueless, so I'm saying it's okay. Everybody's fine, because I don't know what.
And this guy won't give up. I knew he was
bizarre. I knew he was strange.
He's like Sherlock Holmes. He's trying to. He just wants to know. And I know who he is. He hadn't recognized me yet. And finally I had enough of it. I said, "Do you live on the apartments over off of Heimer Road?" And he kind of thought about it for a minute and said, "No." I said, "Yeah, you do." I said, "You're the guy that threatened to pull your gun on me when I was over there hanging flyers." And I said, "I'm about to knock you out again if you don't start walking away." Something like that. And
just as cool as a cucumber leaned across my car.
And he saw my dog, and when I said that, I think it all started to click for him. And he has a couple of micro expressions. Right. He probably wet his pants a little bit. And he decided to do the right thing and leave. So that was number 2.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like it couldn't get any weirder. And we decided we're going to go down to H-E-B and get a couple things before we head to the house. So we drive on down there. And we both need to use the restroom. We go in the restroom. I come out. Me and River's hanging out by the restroom area, waiting on Amy Jo to come out. And I look down the way, and checking out is the first fella she was telling you about that me and him was crossed once upon a time.
Business.
That wanted to, he was kind of egging me on.
Uh-huh.
And, thoughts ran through my head. I'll just put it that way. Because he said he wanted to meet me one day on the streets, and I could have given him that shot, but I chose not to. I mean, 3 in a row. You can't make it up.
3 in a row.
And we got our shopping done, and then I told her after we got in the car who I'd seen in H-E-B. and she about fell out.
I couldn't believe it.
So it's just a crazy story, right? And here's how it relates to pornography. Do you want to talk about
yes,
it? Yeah.
Okay, I'll take back over now. Okay, so oh my goodness, so
I passed my test.
Right.
I did pass my test.
Yeah, so we laughed about it because we're like, oh my gosh. I said we need to do a video about this, and he said, why? How does this relate to porn? I'm like, if you don't think that's spiritual warfare coming at you, think again. So tell me you don't believe that this is a fight that we are in Kingdom World. This is ridiculous. I mean, the minute we come against pornography, the minute we come against sexual addiction and all of this deviant behavior and all of this cray-cray, right? In one night.
And by the way, when the guy walked up to the car, the first guy that had the apartment deal, was he not? Now, you didn't probably believe me, but was he not loony?
Okay, so y'all, ladies, let me just tell you, this guy was standing in a very bizarre way. He had a very bizarre look to his face, and I'm very glad that this man is in my life because the way he handles the situation is on point. And he's like, yeah, just go on out of here. You need to leave. Like, very assertive, but calm, but he's just not going to have it. And it's the things like that save your life, because this is the kind of guy that'll put a bag over your head and you'll find yourself in the back of the car.
I'm not the bad guy.
No.
The other guy.
The other guy, you'll find yourself in the back of a car seat. I mean, he just had that look like we were in the middle of an episode of Criminal Minds.
Yeah, Criminal Minds. He looked like a Criminal Minds criminal.
Yes.
For real.
I wanted to come home so bad I can't even tell you. But
anyway,
the bottom line is how it ties to porn is this. We are in a fight. Okay, this is a fight. It's a fight for the minds of our children, for our men. I mean, women struggle with this too, but I mean, family structure. It is, this addiction is straight out of hell. It's straight from hell. And it is sent directly at the family. It is sent directly at men, and it's sent in a way that makes what is wonderful about a man that's strong and courageous and full of
piss and vinegar.
Yes, willing to defend. That's very sexy, by the way. But the enemy wants to twist it and make it where it's not, and attack in such a way with him that it would have made him not honor me, himself, or the Lord. And so I just want to give you props for standing up.
Thank you.
You know,
well, that
passing your test.
Well, that and most likely, especially since I'm not drinking,
right?
You would have talked me out of it anyway. But if I was still addicted to pornography, my blood, I mean, I'm still kind of amped up, got some adrenaline flowing, and so I would have probably ended up acting out just to like calm myself down, So yeah, I mean, it was a test. It was a trip up. It was something to try to get me to do something I wasn't supposed to do. And I used to not pass too many tests, but I'm passing more and more of them.
You're passing them all, baby.
So
it's like Peter. Hey, Jesus asked him, "Do you love me?" He asked him 3 times.
But yeah, 3 in a row
3
tonight.
times.
3 in a row. You can't make it up. Funny story.
Yeah.
Anyway, so look, if you're going through it, man, it's a test. Pass your test.
Real
Pass
life right here.
Yep.
That's pretty much all we have. I don't think there's a call to action other than to pray. So if you don't need help, or if you do, still reach out to us.
Somebody watching this video needs some help. I'm gonna put my link in the deal like we always do. If you want to schedule a breakthrough call, if you're getting tested and you know you're being tested,
attacked,
yes. Because sometimes, dude, here's the thing. Sometimes the fight comes looking for you. You don't have to be wanting to fight. Sometimes the fight just comes at you. And you don't always have to fight physically, but you got to always fight spiritually when it does.
Right.
And so yeah, if you're being tested, if you're being attacked, and if you know it, and if you tend to act out in unhealthy ways, and even if it's substance abuse, I mean, I'm qualified to help you with that as well. So,
Me too.
But my specialization is definitely with the porn and sex addiction. So, if you need some help, you got the links. Schedule a breakthrough call. You'll love it.
And pray for us.
And pray
for the ministry. Pray for the business, because it comes at us anyway. Yep. That's all.
And pray for the dude in Fish City right now.
Right.
Because we didn't stick around. They were going to kind of wait until he came out to leave and then kind of talk to the individual.
I hope he's okay. I hope he's not.
I don't know if he was already drinking or if he's drinking in there, and maybe it's all just cool. But you know, I want to say I don't wish anything bad on the guy. I guess I don't, but I hope he gets what he justice. I hope justice is served. Period. I'll end it with that. Love you guys. See you next time.